Elevate Your Coaching Business. We're on episode 2 of this final part of the year, which is incredible. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Joanne O'Halloran, and I am a business mentor and sales expert, particularly for new coaches who want to be able to sign their first 3 to 5 clients and create consistency thereafter. Today, what we're going to have a chat about, though, is it's part 2 of how do you consistently find your ideal clients. Like, where do you go? What do you do? How do you connect with them? So whether you're brand new to business, or whether you've been in business for a little bit but you still don't have that consistency, this is definitely for you and you want to be able to pay attention. So go grab a pen and a piece of paper and just note these down. So I'm going to give you 3 really simple but practical steps that you can implement right now that will see results straight away for you if you implement them. And the thing that I always say about, whenever advice is given like this or tips are given like this, is go and implement them. Don't sit back and question, can I do this? Is this the right move for me? If you're here and you're hearing this, go and implement them. Like, the worst thing that you can do is decide that it's not going to work before it works. So before we even get into the practical steps, I do want to talk to you about like where your mindset gets to be so that you can create the results that you want. Because whether we like it or not, if we are not in an empowered space, if we're not confident in ourselves and we don't have full belief in what we're doing, it isn't going to matter what strategy is given or what steps or tools or tips are given. You're not going to implement them. And like, I don't know about you, but for me, knowing that I was the reason that I didn't see success for the first 8 months of my business was like a real kick in the gut for me. Like, it's very easy to blame strategy, to blame somebody else. But when you look at yourself and you're like, okay, I'm the only person that can actually do this, and I'm what's in the way of me creating my success, it's liberating, but it also causes a bit of frustration too, right? So have a look at yourself today and go, what is it that I'm experiencing right now? Am I feeling empowered? Or am I in this cycle of, I can't do this, this is hard, what are people going to think about me? All those thoughts that come in. And no, I was in the exact same place, right? I did the same thing. And even still to this day, like 3 and a bit years later, those thoughts do come back into my mind. So I'm not here to say they're never going to happen to you again. They will. They absolutely will. But it's knowing that because you know basically that they're going to come up, and you know that they're not true for you, you can then move forward and create what it is that you want. So like I said, before you ever attempt to implement any strategy at all, you've got to be super connected with yourself and believe in what you do. It's okay to be nervous, right? It is okay to be nervous when it comes to strategies, when it comes to being visible, particularly online or even in networking events. And, you can get caught up in this cycle. Well, I don't know what to say. I need to wait my pitch lay down, or, I have my introduction completely clean before I can go and do it. And all that's doing is actually holding you back and reinforcing your belief that you're not able to do this. So you want to clobber that on the head, right? Knock that on the head and start repeating empowered. I'm not going to say affirmations, because affirmations on their own don't work, but you want to repeat what you believe to be true about you. So like, we've all heard the saying, right? If like, I am are the most powerful words in the English language. But if you're consistently saying, I'm not able to do this, then you're going to prove to yourself that you're not able to do this. You're going to prove time and time again, because you're going to collect evidence that this is not for you and that you can't do this. And I actually had this conversation with a client yesterday, because she's in that cycle at the moment. And when you're in that cycle, guess what you do? You're sitting down and maybe you're journaling, but maybe, all of a sudden Netflix comes on, or the Disney Channel, or like everything else becomes more important than actually shifting out of what you're feeling right now. So if you're in that space, so like I said, before we get into the practical steps, you've got to get your mindset set up. So if you're in that space and you find that you're not actually taking action, you're saying you're committed to your business, you're saying you're committed to clients and generating success, but you're in that procrastination cycle, or you're in that I need it to be a certain way before I do it. And note, they're the same thing, because they keep you stuck, right? So if you're in either of those cycles of either procrastination or wanting things to be a particular way before you take action, here's what you can do, right? First of all, don't ignore it. because it exists. So don't ignore it. Ignoring it doesn't work, right? It's like there's a mound that's being built under the carpet and the mound just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It ain't going anywhere until you shift it. Okay. So don't ignore it. Note what it is that you're experiencing. So, depending on your learning style, right? And depending on what resonates with you, choose how you want to get this out of your system. Keeping it up in here, worst thing you can do, because it is going to impact every fiber of your body. You're going to be tired. You could be more hungry or you could be less hungry, right? Because your body is reacting to things. You could start developing cold sores. Like there'd be multiple things that will happen in your body because you have the thoughts that you're keeping in your mind. So get them out. So whether that's you journal on them, you speak them out. Like I would speak it out into my phone and then delete it so that I can get it out. But either way, get it out of your body, right? Physically get it out of your mind. What it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're thinking, what it is that isn't working for you, like what's not working for you. If you're sitting on the couch with a blanket over you watching Netflix, that's not working for you. Okay, so speak it out. Don't give out to yourself for it, but just speak it out. Get it out of your system. Then when it's out, go, okay, what actions am I actually avoiding taking right now? Like, what am I avoiding? Specifically, what am I avoiding? So maybe it's going live, maybe it's putting out your offer, maybe it's going to that networking event, maybe it's doing a collaboration. Whatever it is, note it down. Like the big pink elephant in the room, let's talk about it. Note it down. So then when you have it noted down, go, okay, who do I get to be so that I can make that happen? There's 3 questions that I get all of my clients to ask themselves every single solitary day without fail. It has to be a non-negotiable. The first one is, what am I committed to creating today? Specifically, what am I committed to creating? So it could be anything, right? Like it could be like I have a client of mine that's going through masterclasses at the moment. So she's stacking masterclass series. So for her, like for example, it could be, okay, I get to connect with whoever has signed up for my masterclass. I get to personally connect with them. Great. Who do you need support from and what do you need support with to make it happen? So take down those 3 things. What am I committed to? Like making happen today. Who do I need support from and what do I need support with to make it happen? Make those 3 questions your non-negotiable every day anyway. But when you're experiencing that procrastination, that perfectionism, the like zero movement happening, ask yourself those 3 questions and then go do it. Because you've got to start with your like who you are and what way you're being. So if you're being I'm just going to say it straight up. If you're moaning, if you're giving out all the time, if you're feeling sorry for yourself, you're in a pity party, that isn't going to work for you. And nothing is going to shift you out of that other than yourself. You are the person that is going to be able to shift you out of it. Because what I find with a lot of people is you already know why you're like that, right? You know what's causing it, you know what's creating it. So you don't need to continue sitting in the why. Start moving forward. If you don't know why, of course, you get to have a look at that and figure out what it is. But I find that 90% of the time people do know why. So you've got to move yourself forward. Use those 3 things to support you with moving forward. And do that every day, like every morning before you do else. Do that so that you're getting your mindset set up for success for the day. The only person that can move your business forward is you. Nobody else can do it. So if you're not willing to work on your mind, then you can forget about working on the business because it's the 2 need to go hand in hand. The strategy is the teeniest, tiniest part, but your willingness to implement the strategy is what matters, which comes from your mindset. So now that we've covered that side of it and you're in like your empowered space and you're ready and committed to taking action, because commitment is key, right? You cannot avoid commitment. And let me share with you, a lot of people think they're committed, but they're not. And let me give you an explanation. So if you say that you're committed to, let's just say you say you're committed to like having 5 connections today with people with the view to supporting them as your client, but nobody's responded to your messages, or maybe nobody's responded to your emails, or you've gone out to networking events and you haven't connected with anybody. And then you like give all these reasons as to why it hasn't happened. That means you're more committed to your excuses than you are creating the results. Now that sounds harsh, but it's also the reality of the situation. Because if we're committed to it, we will make it happen no matter what. So if, for example, today you say like that there's the 5 people that you're going to connect with and it doesn't happen, do you automatically go to the excuses as to why it didn't happen? Or are you like, right, let me have a look at what didn't work here and let me reset for tomorrow? Because that's what commitment looks like, is that I'm going to make this happen. This is like, whatever it takes, I'm going to do it, like whatever it takes. And that space is not a space that everybody is in. So connect with yourself and see, am I actually in that space? Am I committed AF? Or sometimes are the stories and the excuses that I make up that little bit more comfortable for me? A friend of mine, Michelle Tasco, she's a financial life coach. I always remember her sharing this story, and I think I've shared it like so many times with people already. I was at an event, I was at a mastermind with her and hundreds of other people in San Diego in 2021. Wow, that's ages ago. In 20, I think it was, maybe it was 2022. Anyway, it was a while ago. And she was sharing that one of her coaches earlier on in her career shared with her that excuses are just pre-planned lies. And you know, when you hear something, you're just like, mind blown. Like, yes, that landed. Yes, I heard it. Yes, I can see exactly what that means. Because it's true, right? Like, if we have an excuse for something or a reason or a story, we've sat there and we've thought about it. We have ruminated that story. We have added characters to the story sometimes. We have predicted what the other person is going to say. In fact, we've probably gone back and forth with the dialogue in our head. We've had that conversation, right? I know I'm not the only one. So when she said that, yep. Well, that's true. Excuses are pre-planned lies, right? We're lying to ourselves. So note that. Note that. And then do what I do and have a giggle about it, right? Because it's the only way to move past it. If you're going to give out to yourself, or, you know, like a phrase that I've been hearing a lot lately is make yourself wrong for it. Who's benefiting from that? Absolutely nobody. So like, your outlook and your ability to see any obstacle as an opportunity is so crucial when it comes to building your business. So that's where you get to go. So with these 3 strategies, they're not even really strategies. They're just practical things that you can do to find your ideal clients right now. Part 1 has already been done to go into, you know, who you're looking for, how you figure out who you're looking for, etc. So go back and have a look at episode 1 so that you have all that. And now here are 3 just really simple practical things that you can do. The first one, and again, this doesn't matter if you're brand new or if you've been in business for a while. If you've been in business for a while, regurgitate this one and just do it time and time again. Tell your personal network what you're doing. Literally tell them what you're doing. Don't assume that they're going to see it on Facebook. Don't assume that they're going to see it on Instagram. Don't assume that they know just because you got your coaching qualification that they know what you're doing. Never assume. I always remember when I worked in human resources, a phrase that was said that was drummed into my head like really early on in my career is like, assume is making an ass out of you and me. Spell the word assume. I was like, oh, I love these little things, by the way. They help me see how I'm framing things, how I'm doing things, and they keep my mind in check for things. So if this is helpful for you, use them, right? So never assume that somebody knows what you're doing. And like, think about the one thing that we know about business. You've got to be able to build up the know, like, and trust factor. That is a no-brainer. Who knows, likes you, and trusts you already? Your personal network, right? So your friends, your family, colleagues, they already know you. Now, I'm not saying that you go sell to them, right? That is not what we do. You want to be able to find your ideal clients. But if somebody doesn't know what you do, how could they ever recommend you? Ever. They can't if they don't know what you're doing. So share with them what you do on Facebook. Don't assume that they see them. Physically go and tell them, this is what I'm doing. This is who I support. This specifically is what I support them with. Do you know of anybody that would benefit from this? Anybody you could do an introduction with? Anybody that you feel you could share my freebie with, for example? Here's what I've created. Do you know somebody that this would be supportive for? And you'd be surprised at how many people will go, do you know what, I don't, but hang on, I heard somebody talking about somebody that they know. Great, do an introduction. This is not the time to be shy. This is what I'm saying. Your mindset needs to be in the right frame of mind for this, so that you grab the opportunities that are in front of you and you run. Like, Run with them, not from them. Run to them, not away from them. So you've got to run with them. But tell people what it is that you do, who you help, what specifically you help them with, and do they know of anyone? That's number one. Number two is similar to the first one, but literally, if you've had clients already, ask them for referrals. Ask them for referrals. And don't just ask them once, but ask them multiple times for referrals, because our network is always growing. So our clients' networks are always growing. Their clients' networks are always going. Their clients' networks are always going. So never assume that, again, we're going to use this word assume multiple times, but never assume that somebody is going to think to recommend you. They may not. They may not. I still have clients now from 2020 and like really early 2021 that are still tagging me in things to thank me and to share my services. That's what you want. You want cheerleaders for you. Like, you really want cheerleaders. But to have cheerleaders, not only do you want to support people getting results, but you want to continue to cheer them on. And you want to also continue to remind them, can you refer me? These are the services I have. Can you refer me? You're never too big or small to have referrals, ever. So consistently use that. So if you haven't done that today, go do it. Go do it. Like, I even create referrals schemes, I'll call them, with people that aren't even my clients, but we know our networks match really, really well. So as in, we both serve the same client avatar, but we do different things. So for example, obviously I can support coaches with finding and signing clients. That is my jam. That is my area of expertise. 100% success rate. Like, that's a no-brainer. But then if I have like a friend of mine who builds websites, like, that makes sense, right? If I have a friend of mine that does email marketing, that makes sense. Why wouldn't we team up? Refer one into the other. It makes total sense, right? Or even say with my own business coach. It goes is beyond what I would ever choose to teach, because I know where I'm at and I know what I want to teach. So of course I would refer people up into her. Why wouldn't I? So think of it like that. It is creating that momentum and support and community within people. So yeah, ask for referrals. The third one is, have a look and see what networking opportunities exist today for you. And what I mean by that is, who can you collaborate with today? There's always somebody that's willing to go live, right? So who can you collaborate with today? What's on in your local community that you can go out and about? When you're even like, here in Ireland, we have like these small little corner shops where there's like little notice boards. And I even noticed it in the takeaway the other night. But like, there's all those little notice boards, but also, do the people in your local community know what you're doing? Is there little networking events going on? Is there something happening in the library? Is there something happening in like your community center? Is there something happening in the schools? Like, there's so many opportunities that are there, but we just don't see them. We choose to not look for them. So go there and network and start building up the conversation with people so that they know what you're doing. I've seen it happen multiple times where people are going out and having these conversations. Next thing, boom, they're like, oh my goodness, I just got a client. I'm like, of course you did. Why wouldn't you? Because you're being yourself, you're being passionate, and you're given in generosity to be able to support people. So there are 3 really simple but practical steps that you can do today to find your ideal client. Why are you finding them? Because you're speaking out who you support, what you support them with, the results that they can get working with you, and what services you have on offer. So you're actually in the flow, you're in the vibration, you're in the movement of speaking it out, what you do, who you support, and what you support them with, which is going to ultimately call in. But if you think, when you speak to 5 people, who then do they go speak to? And then who do they go speak to? Will all 5 people, for example, that you talk to speak to people? No. Does that matter? No. But then when you meet them the next time, have the same conversation, and the next time, and the next time, and the next time. And for any of you that are going, well, that's pushy and that's harassment, that is a mindset shift that you get to change. I am not for 1 second saying that you go up to somebody and go, here, come here. Psst. Do you know what I do? Do you know what I do? No. I'm talking about when you're having conversations with people and it naturally comes up, how's business? How's things going? Share. Literally share. Don't hold yourself back from sharing. So my invitation for you is, use these 3 practical steps. If you haven't seen the first episode, go back and watch that. That will give you ways to be able to figure out who you support and what you support them with. Put the two together, and this is how you go and you find your ideal clients. For those of you that want to take it this step further and you're like, do you know what, I need this right now. I just want to know what is my flow for finding clients, and then how do I connect with them so that I can convert them into paying clients and that they stay with you and that you have repeat clients. I've put the link down here for you to be able to book a call. Book in and let's have a chat. You don't need to suffer on your own. Like, there's no need for somebody to be struggling along trying to figure it out on their own, because it doesn't work in business. You can't know what you don't know. You can't implement what you don't know. Plus, if you have never run a business before, how on earth can you know the behind the scenes? Any free trainings, any masterclasses, they can only give you so much. Are there implementable steps in them all? Absolutely. But if you don't know all the back end stuff that goes with it and where you go from step A to step B to step C, and then if step B doesn't go right, where to go then, you're going to be struggling. Don't be on the struggle bus. Get off the struggle bus and set yourself up for success. Book the call. The call is there. It's a free call. And have a chat about where you want to go, what it is you want to create, and if working together is the right space for you. So implement these steps. Have fun. Work on your mindset, and I will see you all next week.